Alright, welcome back to another episode of the AKO Blog. Joe, would it be ridiculous to assume that you didn't meet a target because you were closing deals?
Things are a little bit slow at the moment. Can only get better, right?
So they're still comparing the options, but it seems like they're going to go with the other agents.
So September was in some ways the best month we've ever had, but also a challenging month in other ways. So I think financially, I know financially it was a great month for us as a company. It was definitely the highest value of deals that we've done. I think we were almost $1 million dirhams, but in terms of commissions, which is amazing for a small team. But that really came from one main avenue, and I want to make sure that, to grow this company, the money comes from more areas of the business, from different people contributing. So that's a challenge that we're addressing, you could say. I decided that we needed some help. Sometimes it's hard, rather, for me to come in and speak to the guys in the same way every day, and for them to hear different messages. So I wanted to get in a different voice, a different style, you could say, and that's where I decided to bring Aidan in to speak to the team. And I think it's really been a turning point for us. That was towards the end of the month, but already the vibe, the feeling, everyone is more motivated and focused from what Aidan's given us. So let's see, hopefully that will pay dividends now in the last quarter of this year.
So September started off really good. I was able to close a rental within the first 4 days, I think, because I got a listing from an owner I was speaking to for a couple of weeks before he traveled. So as soon as he came back, I reached out to him and I was able to list his property and rent it out really fast. Then after the second week, it was all right. We saw a lot of movement, but because school was starting, a lot of the availability was not as much as the summer. So we had a lot of people coming in, families coming in trying to rent villas, but we were not able to provide, find them the homes they wanted immediately, because they were all taken due to the busy season, the season picking up.
So in the whole of September, personally, I've been doing a 90-day challenge. This is something that I'm trying to complete and make sure that I adhere to. It's basically continuing the exercise every single day, whether that be gym, a morning walk, a swim, anything, and also posting an Instagram story. So basically holding myself accountable and documenting it. In terms of work orientated stuff and how I'm performing in terms of work, I'm consistently working more towards the Maple Free area now. So we're seeing every transaction that's happening in the community, but we're also guiding buyers, sellers now. And that's what's been happening in the last month. We're making sure that we're involved with everything that is happening in the area.
Well, September was one of the strongest months, especially since I've been here. So I started my journey here in July. It started off slow, but September was the strongest month. The highest amount of listings. I hit all my KPIs and just exceeded them. So in terms of calls, Instagram posts, listings and viewings, it was by far the best month, the busiest month so far.
Biggest highlight has to be Aidan coming in and the response that everybody had to what his message was. He was very inspiring, but I think different to what people would have expected walking into that meeting. I think people expected to hear more about numbers and being disciplined and doing the basic tasks, which is sometimes a lot of the stuff that I talk about, but he was more about working on yourself, thinking about how you are as a person, taking responsibility for your own success in life and your own happiness, but also just opening your mind to what's possible when you really put your focus on something.
So towards the end of the month, I was very close to closing another rental in Maple. I had an agent that reached out to me. She was very serious. She had serious clients that moved in to Dubai from China. And we had a 5-bed unit whose POA I was speaking to for a couple of weeks. And they actually had a very good deal for someone who was willing to rent the property. Actually, what's funny is, for a couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of viewings, and a lot of people for some reason didn't take the villa. And finally, as soon as school started, maybe 2 weeks after, this Chinese family moved in, and they put in a serious offer. They were willing to take it at the asking price, but unfortunately, the owner decided to rent it to somebody else. So again, it's fine. I mean, we started the new month with new energy. Very excited. This month is going to be a really exciting month. It's October the 2nd, so I'm looking forward to it.
So in September, it's actually been really successful. I think the last stream that I did, I gained nearly 100 followers. I think we had 2,000 views at the time, which I know it doesn't sound a lot to probably a lot of people, but if you can imagine the streams, they start with 0 people and you could be on for maybe 30 to 40 minutes and see no activity at all. So when you go from having 0 viewers to seeing 2,000 people coming in and out of the stream, it's actually really good. But also making sure that they are well entertained throughout the whole of the stream is important as well.
Yeah, so one of the most important things I've noticed was the role plays. We started role plays in August very frequently, and watching it back, I can see how my body language has changed, reflecting upon how my posture has been. I couldn't even hold eye contact, even though it's not even a real situation. But I think that's what's great about it. You get to see yourself and reflect and learn how to do better. So watching that back, I can definitely see that there's more improvement compared to what's happening now, but there's still a lot of room to grow.
Over my life, and specifically the last 12 and a half years in real estate, I've constantly been looking at different trainings and styles. I've watched loads of different YouTube videos, and I've always wanted to have a style, and I really think I've found something recently where it isn't necessarily a strict style. There's no scripts that I'm trying to teach the guys. There's no specific, responses that I'm teaching the guys, but I think the lessons that I've recently learned with Chris Voss, and particularly the book that we're reading, The Full Fee Agent, I think it really makes a lot of sense. So the reason why we're doing the role plays is it's one thing to just read a book and have conversations about ideas. It's another thing to actually help people bring those ideas into reality. And for me, I think that comes from repetition and practicing, being able to practice with other people in a low stakes environment. So that's what I'm trying to provide for the team, so that they can really practice their skills and get comfortable with a new style and a new way of building trust with clients. And I think the style is very much about collaborating and working to help the clients and the people that want to do business with us. So I think it benefits everyone. It's all about letting the client make the decisions, feel a sense of autonomy, because that's the way it should be. We shouldn't be making a lot of the decisions for the clients. We should be helping, giving advice where we can, but not really taking the client down any path. It should be the client's decision. We should be there to show the information, and the client should be the one to take action.
So 2 weeks ago, we had a session with performance coach Aidan O'Brien. it was, in my opinion, life-changing. Again, the energy in the room at the moment, I had goosebumps. I was so excited. I was smiling. When I came in, I didn't have the energy I had when I was leaving the room. The guy had a very he had a powerful energy about him, and it just rubs on you, and just wakes you up. I was smiling more. I was happy. I was energetic. I was more grateful, and I was able to see things from different angles. I was able to see challenges as opportunities, as opposed to something that just defeats you and it just makes you stop pushing.
It's a good question. I think the inspiration of making sure that we try to achieve something is important. I don't want to succeed here because of me. I also want to succeed because of AKO as well, being a brand new company. There's nothing greater that I believe I could ever achieve or could ever see than seeing AKO achieve something as well. For example, a couple of the guys that I'm working with right now, they are new to the real estate game, and there's nothing more that I would love than to see us all succeed, whether that be in our areas or doing deals in other communities as well. So that really is a massive inspiration to me. Also, the fact that I just want to make it work. I think the opportunities are incredible here in Dubai, and I think being able to see something and being a visionary is something that I've definitely worked on over these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, September was the most amount of viewings. We were busy a lot of the times we were in Dubai Hills, so I enjoyed that a lot, being out in the community, doing viewings and speaking to people. We were close to closing quite a few times, but a lot of things that just didn't work. But it's okay. I know there's going to be more to come in the future. This was a learning curve as well, so learning how to deal with it better and getting it done.
Aidan talked about this when he came in because he spoke about 3 levels of remuneration, payment. So when you start off in any business, and really this is their own individual businesses, and that's what I've said from the start, you don't open a coffee shop or a store selling clothes or any business. You don't open the business and make money straight away. You have to invest. And with the real estate business, it's no different. Everybody here is pretty much at a similar stage in terms of starting a new business for themselves. And perhaps they might not have to invest too much financially. We do a lot of that for them. But they have to invest time, and they really have to invest themselves in their craft and try and learn. And that means that for a while you're going to feel as if you're underpaid because you're going to put a lot of effort in and not have results. And I think that's been a struggle for people this month because they haven't made huge amounts of money, but they have been working hard. We've set some difficult KPIs in terms of conversations, social media posts, listings, being in the office, making sure they know the market. So they've had to do a lot of work and they've not had much reward. But the difficult thing for me was making sure that they stay focused on investing in themselves to be able to get the results in the long run.
My thoughts on KPIs, I mean, it's a good it's a baseline. It's a baseline for you to be able to tell different. You might have viewings one day, you might certain things might come up, but doing your best to achieve the KPIs, I feel like it gives you a sense of satisfaction. I personally feel like I sleep well when I feel like I've given it my best to the best of my abilities, not just trying to hit the targets. But again, yeah, they're good guidelines. Sometimes you can over-deliver. Sometimes you just hit the baseline. But I think, yeah, it's a good starting point, if you will.
Yeah, so 1 year, I think there's a lot of ups and definitely downs as well. I'll start with the bad because no one likes to hear the bad stuff. But negatives, I would say, keeping consistent and the persistence of keeping going. even if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, if you stop, you know for a fact that next call that you don't make is going to be the one seller that does actually want to sell the particular unit or work with you in the future. I've had challenges of people so close to buying a unit through me, but actually they bought a unit through someone else, which again is equally frustrating. But if you keep playing on these things, you'll never actually succeed in ever. In terms of the highs, it's an incredible opportunity. It's one that I actually relish massively because I look at the bigger picture in terms of being able to tell my kids in the future, whether it be here or in the UK, the United Kingdom, that I grew up and I lived a life in Dubai. That's one thing that I've always been excited for. Me and my partner Georgia, we've had such an amazing time here in just a year. We've completed so many activities, so many meals, so many events that we've been able to go through, and we are really, really grateful for those. But mainly, I think being able to develop relationships and connections with people that, quite simply, I would never have been able to do in the UK. People that, I don't mean this, I don't know how to word this in the best way, but people who are so far beyond me. If I sat in a room with them, you wouldn't think that because of the ability and what they've managed to achieve in their time in Dubai, you wouldn't put us in the same room. But meeting people, networking and having the right connections has helped me meet some incredible people on the way as well.
The thing I learned in September was routine and structure. Coming into the office, I was very lost. Nothing was really structured. Our days would just start randomly and we would do things at random times. So towards the end of September, I started nailing down my routine from the time of waking up and going back home as well. So I think October and November on was going forward, more structured routines, having a plan in place. We're also working on seasons with Aidan O'Brien. So that's going to be a big change that's going to come. I'm looking forward to it.
I think now is a critical time in Joe's career. He's been here in Dubai now for a year, and he's got what he needs in terms of knowledge. And he's now at a point where he needs some things to happen. He's been unlucky. I think Joe's main issue is his structure, which we discussed in our one-to-one, and his organisation. I think everything else he's got. So yeah, I think we need to be a bit more organised for Joe. But I think a very small change can have huge benefits for Joe. I think he can really turn things around. Nate. Nate's really taken on board our our role-play sessions, and he's very intelligent, got a great brain. I think out of everyone, he's really able to apply the lessons that we're talking and learning about in real situations. But yeah, Nate's just got to realise that it can take some time, and he's got to stay patient, but also stay impatient with the way that he works and the energy he puts into every single day. He's got to keep doing that, but then not be too worried about the result, which is easier said than done. It will come, but he's got to be patient. Devesh, so we had to have a sit down with Devesh, as you would have seen on the vlog, which is not something that I enjoy, but it's something that I think I have to do as a leader. I can't just accept these things. And I think it was a great decision to have that conversation. He's taken it on board, and all credit to him. After we've had that sit down, he's stepped up, and yeah, I'm feeling a certain amount of positivity from Devesh after that meeting. He gets it now, he knows where I'm coming from, and I'm really hoping that he has a big month in October.
So towards the beginning of the month, we changed up the role plays a little bit. So what we were doing is, on Monday especially, we would ask our teammate what they did over the weekend, so that we would be able to use the tools that we learned in the book, The Fofi Agent. And it was a bit interesting. It helps you apply the tools in a way that feels like it's a natural conversation. Because when you're always using scenarios where one team member is pretending to be a client and another team member is pretending to be the agent. It's a little bit more serious. You're overthinking it a little bit, and you might not use the tools as effectively. Whereas when we were just asking each other, just as friends and as teammates, what we did over the weekends, I feel like it came more naturally. So that was one of the highlights of this month.
So one of the things that we implement here every single day is the role play at AKO, because this is trying to practice in real case scenarios. It's really difficult, but all we're trying to do is refresh the minds, because it's very early in the morning for some people. So the idea of warming up and getting used to the conversations sets us up for the day. The role plays consist of usually something to do with the book club. So at the moment we're focusing fully on the Full Fee Agent book, which is an incredible read. Obviously it's Chris Voss, who's one of the top negotiators in the world in some of the most pressurized situations. And it's an incredible book, really, really good read. And yeah, we're just trying to practice some of the key scenarios from that book and trying to bring them into the real estate game, which will separate us and set us apart from other brokers.
I don't want to have KPIs. The reason I put KPIs because we had a discussion and they wanted something, to work towards and to be held accountable for. And I thought it made sense to try and make sure that we at least do a certain amount of activity to get business. And I think it's helped overall, to be honest.
In October, I look forward to increasing the quality of effort I'm putting in. Again, I'm not saying it's easy, but nothing good comes easy, right? So I'm gonna focus on trying to increase the quality of my content, trying to increase the quality of my follow-ups when I speak to clients, because I feel like there's a lot more to communication than just words and voice. I feel like tonality matters, especially when you're doing it over the phone. The other person cannot see you, so there's no body language added to the communication.
Okay, yeah, so one of the things I feel is that the agent network is not as strong, and the reliability of agents isn't that great. There were a couple of agents that I had to work with in Dubai Hills for some of the viewings. None of them did their part. Sorry, I don't want to say none of them. Majority of them did not do their part in terms of qualifying their client. So it was a lot of time wasters, a lot of people who cancel last minute or haven't informed their client on what they've been viewing. So it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult to make form a community where you can work with other agents. So now I think in October, it is something I want to do is actually build a network of reliable agents, start putting myself out there more, and just networking.
It's a bit up and down, the energy, I'm not going to lie. Like, we've discussed this, we've expected really high levels of energy, and then we've seen low levels of energy, and then we've seen high levels of energy and positivity. So it's a bit up and down, but I guess that's life. I'm expecting, look, we're dealing with individuals, so it's not an exact science. Some people are going to be able to, run with this and really make a change and step up, and perhaps some people aren't. But we've drawn the line, and that's the main thing. We say, right, we've got now until the end of this year to really see what we can do. Put it all on the line, step up to what we're asking, and let's see if it can be done. If it can't, then it can't, this is not for everyone.
Except one line or one word, I would say unique. I would say it was unique because at the beginning of the month, I was able to close a deal. It went up and down a little bit, but I feel like I've learned a lot in September than the previous months combined. So yeah, I would say unique.
How is that? What do you mean?
I've learned a lot about qualifying, especially because now I feel like I'm able to tell if a client is serious over the phone better than before, because of the way they answer questions, because of their thought process when deciding things, how the decision process was when they were looking at other villas before they reached out to me. All that plays a role in whether they will be renting a villa from me. or buying a villa for me. So I feel like I've learned a lot about qualifying.
The session with Aiden was very good, very informative, eye-opening for sure. A lot of things came down to structure and balance of our lives and how to gain control and to be a visionary. I do believe that I'm a visionary. I manifest a lot. I have a vision in my head of what I want to be in the next 10 years, where I want to go, what car I want to drive, where I want to live. But I'm also a very big realist, right? When it comes to things in life, I look at it from a realistic and logical point of view. I don't just dream about things that is just not possible, right? So it was a bit eye-opening that you have to be a visionary, but I believe that you have to sometimes be a realist. Like, I would not say I can swim across the ocean just because I'm a visionary. It's just not possible. I would die. So it was eye-opening. The KPIs, I do get why it's there, but I would necessarily see a shift in the KPI to how many people we're actually speaking to. I think the thing that I want to focus on more now is not the amount of dials, is how many people I'm speaking to, whether it's agents, whether it's people, whether it's my own team. What am I getting out of my day, right? What can I take back home and be like, okay, I've put some effort. This is what I've learned, and this is what I can implement tomorrow and what I can work on tomorrow. These are the key things that I think for me are going to be my own KPIs. Team spirit, as of now, I think is not at its highest. People are, a bit dreading the fact that nothing's really happening, but it takes time. I think out of everyone, I think I'm the most patient. Maybe because I'm born and raised here, so I know how things work and how things go. So my spirits are high. It's a long-term game for me.
What are your plans for October?
Plan for October is to work on a listing that I'm working on and trying to get it sold. It is something that I'm trying to cross-sell. So I'm trying to network with every single agent, try to put that house across everywhere so everyone knows that it's available, and do the best I can to get it sold.